Joining me now to talk about this, we have Harlan Hill, a Democratic strategist, and Kevin Falscott, a Republican strategist. Kevin, let's start with you. So the most popular guys are not the front runners. Kevin, why is that?
Yeah, it's interesting. In leadership and in life, likability matters. Unfortunately, in political primaries, apparently it does not. And I think what you're seeing here is something that's very interesting. You're seeing that a lot of voters, when they see somebody as likable, they think that they're going to be agreeable. And if they're agreeable, they're more likely to strike deals and compromise, and therefore they're more likely to sell out their principles when they get up there. So it's this strange correlation. If you're too nice, you're going to be nice in D.C., which means you're not going to mix it up. And especially on the Republican side, you're seeing voters say, no, we may not like that guy as much, but they're going to go up there and get something done, and that's what we want right now.
All right, yeah, Republicans certainly want to mix things up this year, that's for sure. Harlan, let's head over to you now, and let's talk about Bernie Sanders here in the state of New York. You say it is time for him to take the gloves off. He has not done it yet. He's had so many opportunities to hit Hillary Clinton over the email server issue. He still hasn't. Do you think he's going to take off the gloves at any point?
I think we saw a little bit of that in the debate last week. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, in my opinion. I think that he'll still come up short. We needed a game moment, and we didn't have it. Look, Hillary Clinton has 30 years. She has decades of a track record that he could have hit her on, a track record full of deceit, lies, fraud. Didn't hear any of that. From Benghazi, to the email servers.
Why doesn't he go after all of those things? And they're legitimate issues.
I don't know. I cannot wrap my head around this. I think that maybe he's just being advised by people that think that the only way that he can win this thing is by running a issues-oriented positive campaign. I'm telling him that's not enough. Bernie, you need to dethrone her. We're not making enough momentum here.
Okay, but then fast forwarding to the general election, Kevin, do you see that lack of likability on Hillary Clinton's part? Do you see that as being just a weak point?
Completely. The lack of likability, the fact that most Americans don't trust her. They trust Bernie Madoff more than they trust Hillary Clinton. But I think the point that's very interesting here is that Bernie Sanders, I think, on one hand, he's got to go after Hillary. On the other hand, he's trying to not alienate those super delegates who he so desperately needs if he's going to win at the convention. It's the opposite of what's happening on the Republican side. Donald Trump is getting more and more support from voters, but he's alienating delegates who he needs on a second or third ballot in Cleveland. So it's a tightrope to walk. You've got to bring in voters, but you can't alienate delegates. And I think that's why you're seeing Bernie Sanders not completely go after Hillary in the way that he could, or I believe he probably should.
Harlan, even though you're a Democrat, you seem to say that that Donald Trump is doing a pretty good job repairing his image, and that he still has time to win some independence and win the nomination.
Sure. Well, look, I think that Donald Trump's negatives are really informed by 6 months of mismanagement of his messaging, and that's part him, that's part his campaign. He has time to correct. Like I said earlier, Hillary Clinton's track record is 30 years long in politics, and I think that's going to be much more difficult to repair by the time the general election.
All right, guys, we're going to have to leave it there. Harlan and Kevin, thanks a lot for joining us. Always good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.